What's up, guys? A short update on the price of Bitcoin. Let's see what happened from yesterday. Well, we are still in the channel going a little bit lower, so it's not the horizontal channel but now descending channel. Still it's a bull flag. Still there is a chance for this to be playing out to the upside. It's a bullish setup, but I am a bit less bullish right now because of the several reasons. First of all, I will show you this on the Dudex exchange because I have this line here. So you see we have the higher high, and it was very brief move to the upside above the previous high. So you may guess that after we made this rise over here, after this top, a lot of people went short at this area. So they placed their stop orders at this area again, meaning that if the price goes there, those stop orders should be like a fuel pushing the price to the upside. Instead of that, the price went to the up, those stop orders collected, and the price moved back again. Basically, yes, you can argue that there was a kind of a washing out those short orders in order to be able to go down without making them grow in profit. And then yes, we went down, now we are going up again. However, this was also not that low and there was not so much volume over here. So although we are seemingly having a symmetrical like formation over here, you see this part is very similar to this part and we are like mirroring it, and now we're going up, kind of going above this line once again. However, again with the volume, if we look at the other exchanges, there was not so much here, and even on this drop the volume is very low. So we didn't go that far to the downside in order to say that okay, we are like having a pullback from the lower point, now we're ready to go to the upside. I think it's still too early to say that, and still we may say that there is a kind of a similarity between the previous rise. For example, if you draw a Fibonacci retracement pattern from here for the previous rise which we had from $7,800. So we had this first leg, we have the previous first high with the number 1, then the higher high number 2, and then we dropped to 38.2% Fibonacci retracement, and this is number 3, the low. After this low we went to the upside. Here it is pretty much the same. You can of course use this low or this low, but it's very similar. So we went to the first rise number 1, then make a higher high number 2, and then made the low with the number 3 at 38.2% Fibonacci retracement. So after that, if you will follow the same trend, we should go to the upside. However, of course, a lot of people are looking at the same thing. It's not necessarily playing out exactly in the same way as previous time, so maybe it would be a trick and the price instead of going up will go down. So it's not clear what's the majority of people will think about it, so the market would go against them. But still we need to consider such setups. What I would think and how I would do if I would be kind of a manipulator driving the market one way or another, I would actually wait in this channel. Maybe I will have like a pullback from this top to the low, and somewhere there will be also a 4 hours baseline on the Bollinger Bands. Then there will be like a intersection of these two, and that would be the point of a decision whether the price will actually go up or the price will break, and then we'll have the continuation of the drop like we had before. For example, here there was a test and the bounce from this 4 hours baseline of the Bollinger Bands to the upside, or we broke it at this area, this case, or here and here, and so on and so forth. So I think this was very reasonable. So something like $8,100 as a potential target, so it also will be lower low than this one, and maybe like 50% Fibonacci or something. That would be reasonable in my opinion. But again, instead of that, we may directly go to the upside right now, so I wouldn't be betting on that. Instead of that, what I would suggest is to look at those major levels, major patterns which we are having now, and just see a direction. If we'll have, let's say, a false breakdown to the of this line, of this trend line, and we'll go below 4 hours baseline of the Bollinger Bands, and then on the lower volume, and then we'll go up immediately, then it would be a false breakout. We can return and make a rise to, let's say, $1,500, something like that. This is also a very possible scenario, but I'm kind of not bullish enough yet. I still think that the zone between $7,700 and $7,000 is very tempting to visit, because there is a lot of the stop orders are accumulated there, and basically the market goes to the volume. So this is the point where it is headed to, unless we will hold above something like $8,600, $9,000, maybe like something like this or even higher. Then it will be a sign that indeed it would be very, very hard to go to the lowest point once again. The few things which I was going to point out today is that, for example, the Meyer multiple showing an interesting setup. Meyer multiple is just the ratio between the price and the 200 days moving average of this price. So basically what we're having here is that here is the line, the level actually of 0.9 on the Meyer multiple chart, and it historically served as a support, as a resistance on the bear market, as a support on the bull market. And the similar situation which we have now was in 2015. For example, here we had the test of this resistance with the price with a pullback, then we broke it, and then we returned back and tested it again, and then after that we have the bull market. So here we actually broke it as well, made a rally, huge rally to the upside, and then we are returning now and testing it. We are just exactly at the point of the test of this level. And let's say here we had the wick to the lower area, lower than this level, so we might actually go lower again, and that would be actually confluent with the drop of the price below $7,700, I think, and then we'll have a fast recovery to the upside, and that would be very, very similar to this case, and exactly the scenario which I considered talking about the drop to the lower low. So very, very possible. Not necessarily, of course, the history will repeat itself, but interesting to observe that. Another thing, a bit of a bullish things, Fisher transform indicator on the daily time frame has a green bullish crossover, and in fact it was like -2 level, almost, not almost, it was like at -2 area, and it was very, very low, so the chance for the reversal is very high at this stage. And in fact, usually when it happens, it's like a long-term, relatively long-term trend for the direction of the reversal. So we may expect the rise in the price to some extent in time, and unless, of course, we will not see the opposite crossover tomorrow or something like that. We need to have like 1 or 2 days to see it confirmed, but still something positive happens on this side. And another positive thing is that we, on a shorter time frame, this is just 1 hour time frame, but here we have the BitMEX funding and premium index, which is now turning negative. Usually when it turns negative, we have the rise after that. Here is an example. Previously, it turned negative and we went to the upside. It didn't happen for this matter, like for this extent, often. Like this is quite of an exceptional case, and we had to the upside, like with this massive green candle. If you look at the daily time frame here, this is also rare. Maybe we need to establish it a bit more. We need to go a little bit lower as we went here, and then if it will be continuing to stay in the negative area, we may expect something like this to happen, and then we'll go to this $8,500 area or something like that. So this is a bit bullish sign. And another thing, just to point out, that on RSI we have this support line for the lows, and this support line was not tested yet. So maybe this scenario of the price going to face with 4 hours baseline of Bollinger Bands will play out, and then we'll see the test and then pull back. If this will happen, that would be really great. But still, this test, this is would be the fourth test. If this will happen, then we may actually break this pattern and go below that. So that will be conflict with the bearish scenario of this test with the baseline, and then we may actually turn to be rather bearish after that. So you see, this is a very important point right now to look at the price, to look at the major levels and how the price will react with them. So probably within a day or two, we will see the resolution of this situation to one or another scenario. So let's wait, and still I will keep you updated. For today, that is it. I hope that it was useful. Thank you for watching.